Hi, 21st Century Media. Today we are going to complete Lesson 4. Lesson 4, we're going to talk written media today. So, last class we started the Great Big Story assignment, and you will finish that for homework. But first, we're going to talk a little bit about story structure. You're going to map a story. We're going to do a bunch of different examples of different types of written media in a group. So you're going to rewrite a book that you're going to read with your group in a bunch of different media types. We're going to do a mask break called Walk the Walk. So you're going to have a bunch of different ways to walk, and then we can just take a little bit of time walking and talking. And that will bring us to the end of class. So let's go ahead and start out with a little video.
So he walks up to another lady and asks her to dance. Man, not interested. Lady after lady after lady. Rejected. Nobody wants to dance with him. Finally, the mushroom walks over to the bartender and he's so confused. He says, I don't get it. Why does nobody want to dance with me? I mean, I'm a fun guy. See, this joke has a structure. It's got an opening, a build-up in the middle, and an ending, which is, the punchline. That structure is a big part of what makes it fun. Structure is the answer to the question, what do you want the audience to know, and when? If you get the order wrong, it can be a real problem. Check it out. Hey, can I tell you a joke? All right, so there's this fun guy, and shoot, I messed up the opening. Okay. Hey, can I tell you a joke? All right, so there's a mushroom who walks into a discotheque, and then there's a bartender there. Darn it, I messed up the middle. Hey, can I tell you a joke? All right, so there's a mushroom who walks into a discotheque, and there's a bunch of ladies on the dance floor. He asks them to dance, and they say yes. Dang, without conflict, joke over. See, structure is important. Just as structure is a big part of telling a funny joke, it's also essential to making a movie that has the emotional impact you want on your audience. This is a great example. In earlier versions of Finding Nemo, the structure of the story was very different than the final film. The director wanted to interweave scenes of Nemo's parents' lives before they had kids as flashbacks throughout the whole movie. So you would see them meet, fall in love, and eventually move into their house at the drop-off in little scenes throughout the film. Oh, honey, it's beautiful! The main story of Marlin and Nemo and their journey was pretty much exactly the way it is now. But with the flashback structure, it wasn't until the end of the film that you would find out that Marlin's wife Coral and all of her eggs were killed by a barracuda. When they showed the movie with this structure, they had one big problem. The audiences, well, they didn't like Marlin. Looking at their story structure, the team realized that in this version of the film, the audience didn't find out why Marlin was acting this way towards his son until the movie was almost over. So they decided to re-edit the movie and remove almost all of the flashbacks, leaving only the scenes where Coral and Marlin's home is attacked by the barracuda, killing Coral and all of her eggs, except for Nemo. They moved these scenes to the beginning of the movie. This change in the story structure changed the audience feelings about Marlin a lot. They knew right from the beginning how much Marlin had lost and how brave it was for him to go after Nemo, and they loved him for it. In the case of Finding Nemo, finding the problem was a matter of rearranging the story structure. Of course, all our movies are different, and their story structure challenges are too. In this lesson, we'll look at the many different ways we think about story structure here at Pixar, and you'll get to try out for yourself different approaches to structuring your story. I wonder if I told the mushroom jokes in flashback. Could it be funnier? Probably not.
All right, so today we are going to tell some stories. So going back to lesson 4 here, I want to talk to you a little bit about written media. So written media, you guys are going to get a book, a storybook, just a little kid's book. And as a group, you're going to read it. Then you're going to retell it in a bunch of different media formats that are written. So before you even start reading your book, you need to go through this very first slide where you're going to pick an audience. So your audience is who you're writing to. So you might be writing to a bunch of experts on the subject of your story. So let's say you were reading Finding Nemo, you would write to experts about Finding Nemo. So maybe Pixar employees. You could pick to write to young children or teenagers or parents or fans, or if you want another one, you can pick another audience. Then you're going to come up with some group roles and who's doing what. So decide who's going to be your timekeeper, who's going to be your editor, who's going to be a facilitator, etc., etc. Now, the timekeeper is going to make sure that you keep track of the time so you know how much time you have left in class. Editor is going to go through everybody's slides to double check for periods and spelling. Facilitator is going to make sure everybody is working on their role and doing their job, making sure to ask questions, help people. Runner is somebody who can run up and ask questions or go to another table or the teacher. Speaker is somebody who is going to share out at the end of class. Encourager is a person who goes, good job, good job, good job. And the focus keeper will be the person that says often, all right, guys, we got to focus. All right, people, let's zone in and get this done, okay? You are all creators, so you're all creating a certain part of this slideshow presentation. You need to put your name here and what you did. So what was your thing that you created or contributed to this presentation? Group norms. My norms for you are stay on task, contribute equally, and be solution focused if any problems arise. Feel free to add any norms that your group needs. So I made an example of each of these, but you are going to delete my things and replace it for your story. So instead of saying 21st century media, if I was doing Finding Nemo, I might put Nemo lost. Sad. Okay, I'm going to make a headline. Now I'm going to do it for my audience. So if my audience is experts, I would not put Nemo probably. I would put the type of fish he was, or like clownfish, lost at sea. If I need to adjust, I can adjust any sort of sizes or fonts that I need to. So your first slide is you're going to write a newspaper version of your story. So with newspaper, you've got big headlines, eye-catching things. From newspapers to websites and blogs, let's talk written media. So did you know that putting things down in writing changes a story? As a group, you're going to retell your story for print media and a bunch of different print media. So, for example, Mrs. Bean, a local middle school teacher at Kennard, taught the most amazing lesson today about print media. The students were blown away. I've never been so inspired, said Tyler, one of her students. The format for print media changes depending on how things are written. Newspapers are more formal than other print media. They use quotes, facts, and clear wording. The purpose of news is usually to inform. So you're reading my example, then you're going to change it to represent the children's book you read and replacing any pictures by right-clicking them and inserting a new one. So you can also click this replace image, okay? You are going to pick an audience for your group and who you're directing your media to. You can choose to all work together and have one person record and everybody give ideas. You can divide and conquer and have one or two people do the news, one or two people do the script writing, one or two people do the Instagram, one or two people do the blog. So you're going to retell your story in all of these different ways. So script writing, you're going to write a very short script version of your children's story. Script writing, you have to know your audience. Dialogue needs to be natural. It should be very informal. Keep your audience hooked. Don't put things like, I am wondering what to say here. You don't say I am wondering in conversation. You just say the thing you're wondering. So make it sound natural. You can have slang. Your beginning has to have a hook. This is a very short script, so you got to make it real snazzy but still has to have a beginning, middle, and an end. So you're going to have to boil your whole children's story down into a very, very small script. If you want to make one more page, you can right-click and duplicate slide, and you could do a 2-page script, but it does need to be short. Instagram, you're going to replace a picture. You're going to replace the icons for the profile pictures, the name of the person posting. Instagram, your purpose could be to persuade, to entertain, to inform. It can be pretty informal depending on your purpose and who your audience is. You'll also need to do some replies to whatever post you decide to do here and whatever picture you put. Now, blogs, pretty much if you have ever read something on a website, you've probably read a blog. So blogs are a little bit more detailed than basic social media Instagram posts. They're like the internet version of news, but they're not always informational or factual. Oftentimes they're very casual. So on this page, you're going to replace all the pictures and link those pictures to slide 6, because that's where you're going to write an example of a blog. So you're going to change these pictures. You're going to write different little headlines. So this is like a title for a blog. This is like the general description. And when you click on it, it takes you into the blog post. All of these blog posts will be taken to the same blog post. Although if you want to do all 4 of them and link to 4 different pages, you can go to, if you click on the picture and go insert and link, you can link to different slides in the presentation. So if you wanted to create a slide 7 to link this one to, and a slide 8 to link that one to, and a slide 9 to link that one to, you can just right click on this and duplicate the slide a few times. After you fix this slide, then you are going to actually write your blog post. So it doesn't have to be this long, but it does have to have at least 1 picture. And this describes exactly what you need to do. So you have a beginning, you have the middle and the content of your blog. Sometimes just bulleted lists are fine for a blog. Any extra graphics or pictures you want, and a conclusion. They can be pretty simple, but you're going to write your blog about whatever your children's book is. So this might be the Finding Nemo blog. Now you can do little bits of it. So this could be like famous fish from Finding Nemo. This could be all about the EAC, or East Australian Current. Or this one could be why to just keep swimming. Or this one could be a review. Okay, and you could write any of those as the full-length one. So your goal is to get this done as a group. So you're all going to work on this together. Again, you can team up. You can all work on one and then go to the next one, or you can divide and conquer a little bit. At the end of class, we will share out what you created. So do make sure to share this with everybody in your team so everybody can work on it. Share it with me, ebean at psdschools.org, and share it with any other teachers that you need to. And click send, and then you'll be able to share it. If we don't get to share it at the end of class today, then we will share it at the beginning of class tomorrow. Once you're all the way done with this, then you can continue working on that great big story assignment, which is on the Classroom of the Google. Great big story assignment. This written media presentation for you to make a copy of is also on the Classroom of the Google. You can just click on the link and it should take you to a version that you can do file and make your own copy. So you can make a copy of the entire presentation to share. If you have any questions at all, feel free to email me. You got this. It's going to be amazing.